Hey Faith friends, good afternoon to you. It is an absolutely gorgeous spring day today. Kathy Lamunyon here with Bodybuilder Ministry. I pray this day finds you walking in victory, because you know what? That's exactly what God's plan is for us, is to walk in victory. So I'm going to do something a little different right now that I know the Lord has called me to do. And I'm really hoping that it's going to reach the right folks. So this is going to be something for little people, okay? If any of you know me, you know that I'm a teacher at heart and that I love to spend time and be with children. And so I just feel drawn today to share a story, to read a story to the kids. So if any kids hop on and you want to say, hey, give me a little wave, or you can tell me where you're joining from. Looks like somebody's jumped on already, so you can tell me where you're joining from. If you guys, I hope you're doing a great job doing school for your parents or grandparents, aunts, uncles, whoever it is that you're doing school with at home right now. I hope you're doing a great job, and I'm sure you are. And you can stick up an emoji that lets me know what the weather's like where you are, or you can stick up an emoji that lets me know that you've been, you can put some books or pencil and paper and let me know what you've been doing today and everything. But right now, we're going to call this Story Time with Teacher Cat, and I hope that you will enjoy it. Okay, so here we go. This is the story I'm going to read to you today, and I hope that you will love it a lot as much as I do. This is the Throwaway Cat. Isn't she beautiful? Oh, she's so beautiful. Okay, so the Throwaway Cat. Now, this book is a very special book because it is actually autographed by the author, which is the persons who, well, there are two authors. It's a co-author book by Stephen and Judy Brantley. And when this book was purchased for my sweet daughter, it actually was autographed by the author in here, and it says, for Susanna, that's my baby girl, God will always watch faithfully over you. And it's signed by the Brantleys who wrote the book. So I want that word to come forth and be sown in your heart today, boys and girls, and to know that God will always faithfully watch over you, okay? He's going to protect you, okay? Now, at the beginning of this book, there's a letter from who it's about. Now, I'm going to let you see a little hint right down there. She signed her name. So who do you think the letter is from? This is a letter from Pearl. That's her name. The story you are about to experience was written for children of all ages. So see, that's you. To teach the need and importance for personal and spiritual relationships. Woven throughout like threads of gold is God's enduring love for all. And softly conveyed is this: we love because He first loved us. My story, Pearl's story, is one of redemption and adoption, reflective of the redemption and adoption our great shepherd Jesus offers. After being appraised as only a throwaway, I am found, tended to, and adopted, because no one is a throwaway in the eyes of God. Within these pages, Monty and I learned to live out the first and second great commandments. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and love your neighbor as yourself. Finally, you will see Owl in his role as vicar to the animals fulfill the Great Commission. Go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. I hope you will enjoy this timeless little tale, discover new treasures from within, and with every reading feel close to the heart of God that is indeed where we all live. Okay, so remember, that letter is from Pearl. Now I'm going to read the page and then I'm going to show you the pictures, okay? So put your listening ears on. This is the Throwaway Cat. Okay, this is the Throwaway Cat. Here we go. Let's see if I can turn the first page. All right, here we go. There she is, sitting at her windowsill. Okay, here we go. Pearl sat on the windowsill, warming herself in the sun and waiting for Monty. Every morning he came scampering by, as squirrels do, stopping occasionally for a chat. She didn't want to appear too eager because she was quite a lady kitten. But without realizing it, she had grown very fond of their morning meetings, and this morning he was late. There she is, sitting by the windowsill. Okay, let's turn the page, turn the page. The other animals must miss him too. She heard Francine sounding off, as a French Toulouse goose is prone to do. Have you seen Master Monty, mayor of the manor, this morning? Pearl was too young to understand what was meant when she heard them say, he's like a mayor, all right. He loves to be in everybody's business. See the geese? I bet Francine is the oldest one, the biggest one. I bet that's Francine. It seemed to Pearl that Monty knew just about everything about everyone in the country. And although he always appeared very nervous, she thought he was genuine in his concern about the welfare of all the animals. Only yesterday she was telling a group of jays her feelings about him. They had laughed and said, just wait, you'll learn. Here they are, talking. The birds and the geese are talking to Pearl, and they're talking about Monty. There's a lesson there. Wonder who this is on our next page. Let's see who this is. This beautiful heart-shaped face, sitting higher up in the tree with his eyes closed partially. Kind of like that. Owl, of the British barn sort, appeared absolutely uninterested in their conversation, but heard it all. See Owl? Okay. Pearl looked up to Owl. Maybe she was too young to understand everything about life, and maybe she did have a lot to learn. But as she studied Owl, she became very sure of something. He was wise. He didn't talk much. Mostly, he just listened. From somewhere deep within, Pearl began to feel that Owl knew secrets. She wondered if he would be willing to share them, and she was determined to find out. And somehow, she knew the right time would come to ask him. You see Pearl taking a peek up there. She's looking up to Owl. Let's see what happens. Here she is on the next page. What's she doing? Let's see. While waiting for Monty, Pearl had preened and primped past the point of perfection, and now, leaning over the windowsill, stretching her neck and small face forward to look farther down the yard, she saw him coming. She pulled back quickly, stretched nonchalantly, and yawned. As nervous as always, he greeted her. Oh, my. Good morning, Miss Pearl. I'm sorry if I made you wait and perhaps worry. I was in attendance at the birth of the new baby, Monty explained, quite out of breath. New baby? Look, there's Monty. There he is. Okay. Now, here they are on the next page. They're going to have their conversation. Do you see them? Monty has come to see Pearl, and they're going to have their conversation. Let's see what they're going to talk about today. Yes, he said, scratching behind his ear. Dominique's due date was days ago. This is her first fawn, and we were worried. But our fears were unfounded. Her fawn is fine, Monty said, exaggerating his English accent. And how are you this glorious good day? Very well, thank you for asking. Why were you in attendance at the fawn's birth? Pearl asked, puzzled by his accounting. Oh, well, you know, records must be kept, and I am the appointed record keeper. The care of the animals has fallen my lot, which brings us to a repeated point and query. I don't have the record of your coming. I must have that. When will be a good time for us to discuss it for the record, Miss Pearl? He asked politely. Okay, so there they are. Remember, they're having their conversation. Let's see what happens next. Turn it a page over. She liked him. She didn't see... Wait, I might have taken 2 pages. No, I didn't. Okay. Sorry. She liked him. She didn't see in him the things the others saw. With the weight of the animal world on his shoulders, she had no idea how big that was. She only knew why he always acted so nervous. He said he was the appointed caretaker of the animals. Who appointed him? She wondered. She would ask Owl. She knew that Owl would know, as wise as he was. Answering Monty as a proper lady kitten would, Pearl said, well, I suppose this morning will work. So there she is. She's going to answer him. Okay, let's see what happens next. Pearl had put off telling him her story because part of it was too scary to recall and repeat, but the other part was so perfectly pleasant, and she was so proud of her new family, the lord and lady with whom she now lived. She must make it a part of the record. Monty started scrambling, getting his pencil and his steno pad, and he was ready to record. "At your service, Miss Pearl." "Just a minute, Monty," Pearl said politely. So here's Monty. He's ready to take the notes down now, isn't he? How about that? Okay. Leaving her windowsill, she ran to the library and jumped up in the lap of her lord. He stroked her softly as he read the morning paper and said something Pearl didn't understand. Actually, she didn't understand any of the noises her lord and lady made. Well, except one. Well, perhaps two. She understood "no" and "down." And thinking for a moment, she knew two more words, making four: "Pearl" and "come." So here she is with her lord. She ran to the library and jumped up in his lap. After getting her lord's attention, she ran to the door where she sat in the sun, longingly looking out. He continued to read his paper. Pearl stretched. Then she pressed her paws on the glass door. She looked out again, and she looked at him, and she said, "Please, sir, may I go out?" Which sounded more like to him, but he understood. He came, and he opened the door. Uh-oh. See, there she is at the door, saying those sounds that I made for her. Now, she ran quickly out. The elegant English countryside was dressed in spring. The lilacs, lilies, and lady slippers, arrayed in their finest, as if they were awaiting an invitation to afternoon tea, lined the walk. Stopping along the way to smell the beauty of spring brought, she slowly made her way to Monty. This was her very first spring. Pearl didn't know people called what she was feeling spring fever. She just knew she was in love with life and her lord and her lady, of course. Okay, I'm trying to get where y'all can see this. There she is. Pearl running out. Okay, approaching the tree where Monty waited, appearing quite official, she stopped. He wasn't one for missing details. "Miss Pearl, you're trembling. Is your story that terrible?" "It wouldn't have been for you," she said, recalling her flight through the air, "but it certainly was for me." "Oh my, I am sorry to put you through this. Perhaps—" "No, Monty, really, I'll be fine. It's only the first part that's scary." "Well, if you're sure." So here they are. There's Monty. See, Pearl came out to him, and there's Monty. I'm trying to have it. Well, there's not a glare on the book. Sorry about the glare, guys. Okay, if you're enjoying the story, give me a thumbs up, okay? All right. "I was only a few weeks old," she began. 4 weeks, I guess. We were all nuzzling with Mummy. We thought we were hidden. Suddenly, a thunderous sound we heard, and it was terrible. I had just gotten my eyes open when I saw it coming. My Mummy started screaming and scratching and biting and bucking. A huge hand grabbed me and dropped me into a box. And right on top of me came my sister, my brother, the twins, and finally Mummy. See the huge hand? And here is Pearl. There is Pearl, so tiny. Immediately it got dark, too dark to see exactly what was happening. But in a few minutes, the box landed with a big thud. Next, I heard another scary noise. I didn't know what it was then, but now I know it was the truck engine. Before long, the box began bumping up and down, and that hand kept coming in over and over. I was bewildered. After a bit, I realized I was in the box all by myself, and that huge hand came in for me one more time. Here's the darkness outside that she saw in the truck. And here she is in the truck, and the driver, see her in the box all by herself? Oh, and he's driving along. He just keeps on driving. He just keeps on putting his hand in there. And what is he doing with these baby kittens? Oh, and then look what happened. Look what happened to her. Oh, that poor sweet baby. And then the wind was fierce. I was flying through the air. I was thrown away. But when I began to fall, it seemed like a wondrous wing slipped under me, and I slid safely to the ground. It was as if someone was watching over me and taking care of me, because I barely bumped my nose. It did bleed, but just a little. See, Pearl? She went flying through the air. There she was. I was stunned. I scrambled into the grass and sat crying, unable to imagine what I had done to deserve such fright. Within minutes, I saw another huge hand coming. I cowered down in the brambles, but this one was different. For all the hurt the first hand brought, this hand brought healing. See the healing hand? Ever so gently, he picked me up. He held me close to his heart. I heard it beating. He carried me home and tended my wounds, and I lived happily hereafter with my Lord and my Lady. I continue to live. Look, isn't she beautiful up there, little Pearl? Okay, let's see what Monty's going to say next. Who was watching over you? Was it me? Monty stuttered, growing ever more nervous and feeling a failure as the appointed caretaker of the animals. I don't know, Pearl said. Someone surely was. Let's ask Owl. He'll know. He's very wise. Monty seemed to fly through the air as he leaped from limb to limb looking for Owl. Pearl was barely able to keep up as she raced by leaps and bounds on the ground, and she heard him holler, "Here he is!" So there goes Pearl, and she's running after Monty. Running. They're going up there looking for him. Ah, look who they found. Look who they found. They found Owl. They found him. Let's see what he says. Climbing up to where Monty and Owl were waiting, Pearl explained, "Owl, excuse us for waking you, but we have a very important query." Blinking his eyes wide awake, he said, "But of course, no bother at all. Who will ask the query?" "Me. I will. It's about me," said Pearl. Who was watching? This is her question. "Who was watching over me the day I was thrown away? Monty says he's the appointed caretaker of the animals, but he wasn't there." "It wasn't him. Someone must have seen me safely through it and sent that wondrous wing down. That wondrous wing that I slid down." So again, here they are asking the questions to Monty. Remember in the beginning, she said she slid down a wing? Let's see what happens. Nodding his head and heart-shaped face slowly, with the voice of a vicar, Owl said, "Yes, someone did. The King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, our Creator. And being Lord of all creation, he's the one who provided the Lord and Lady with whom you now live." "Are you talking about God?" Monty asked. But without giving Owl a chance to answer, he continued, "Surely as wise as you are, you don't believe in something you can't even see. Besides, everyone knows I am the appointed caretaker of the animals." Monty, old chap, sorry to be so blunt, but you can't even begin to imagine how immense the animal world is, much less take care of it. And it was you who assumed that great task you're talking about, not seeing anyone else fulfilling it. Just because you can't see God doesn't mean he isn't there, watching over us all every minute of every day. You believe in the wind, do you not? Owl asked. There they are, having that conversation. "Of course I do. I don't have to see the wind, I can feel it," Monty said a bit sarcastically. "You can feel God too." "Where? How?" Monty was curious. "Right now. By telling him you accept him as the appointed caretaker of us all." "I can do that," Monty said nonchalantly, "but how will that make me feel him?" "If you are earnest, accept him and see." Owl coaxed. Looking higher than the trees, Monty said aloud. God, Owl's right. I haven't believed in you because I can't see you. He says I can feel you, though, and that's fine by me. That's what I need. I do with all my heart accept you. Look at there, Monty, looking up and talking to God. Looking up there, you see him? Watching Monty closely, Pearl saw him appear to lose his balance. She gasped. He almost fell off the limb. What happened? He said, holding on. Something happened to my back. I feel light as a bird feather. Swishing his bushy tail back and forth, standing on his haunches. Owl, Monty demanded. What happened? Monty, you feel the gift of God. The burden you assumed for care of the animal world has been lifted. It was never yours to carry. Let him be the caretaker, and you continue to be the record keeper. God is real. He created us all. He loves us and is watching over us. Enjoy life. Have fun. Honor him. There they all are. Owl and Monty and Pearl. Quietly, without query, looking higher than the trees, Pearl said, with all my heart I accept you too, and I thank you kindly for my lord and my lady. Any other queries? Owl asked. Pearl and Monty looked at each other, shook their heads, and together said, Not today, Owl, we thank you. Pearl had known that Owl knew a secret. She knew the right time would come for her to know it too. Today had been the right time. She was ever so thankful that she and her friend Monty shared it. Laughing and rejoicing with each other, they chased one another down the tree and joined the whole earth singing in harmony. For the beauty of the earth, for the glory of the skies, Lord of all, to thee we raise. This our hymn of grateful praise. Amen. There they are, scampering off, rejoicing and having a great time. And there's Pearl. Look at there. How about that? Isn't she something? She came a long way from being thrown away, didn't she? And that, boys and girls, is the Throwaway Cat. Yeah, did y'all enjoy that story? So this book is very, very special to my family and to my daughter. My beautiful sister had this, actually met the authors and had it written and signed for my daughter 20 years ago, in fact. So it's a very, very special book. And so I'm so thankful that I had the opportunity to share it with you all today. So would you, for me, if you know someone with littles, or it's for children of all ages, maybe your children at bedtime or anytime really, if you want to tag a friend or share it with a friend, and let me know if you enjoyed this at all. I do love reading books to children very, very much, and so I would love the opportunity to do it again. So we'll maybe do it again another day. So thank you all for those of you who have joined and watched now, as well as those who will watch again maybe later on the replay. You can let me know about that. And here at Bodybuilder Ministry, I'm on a journey. I'm pursuing faith, I'm pursuing identity in Christ, and I'm pursuing the truth at all times. So if you want to get fit for life and join me in that, on my journey in doing that, then I invite you to come back and be encouraged by things that we're doing here, and be a part of all that God is doing in my life, and so that I can share it and encourage you and build you up, and as we see Him doing great things in your life as well. So remember today that you are loved. Thanks for everything. Goodbye.